Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're so glad you could join us today.
Yes, welcome everyone. It's Monday, June 23rd, 2025. And we've got some really interesting connections to draw today between tech news and, well, your world.
Absolutely. Before we jump in, quick check on what's happening out there. Weather-wise, it's a mixed bag nationally. Looks like excessive heat warnings across the east, potential for excessive rainfall in the southwest, and some severe weather brewing in the center of the country. Heat risk is definitely a factor for many.
Right. Stay safe out there. Here in Sacramento, though, looking pretty good sunny and heading towards about 92 degrees today.
Nice. And quick peek at the markets as they open. Dow Jones starting around 42,285.55, and the S&P 500 kicking off at about 5,983.44.
Okay, numbers noted.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're digging into some key technology developments, pulling insights from the latest reports and research.
And the goal really is to connect those dots for you, showing how these tech shifts aren't just headlines, but things that are actually impacting daily life and setting up future trends.
Exactly. We want to uncover those aha moments. Yeah. So let's get started.
Where are we heading first?
Let's head down to Texas. There's a fascinating situation unfolding with self-driving vehicles. Governor Greg Abbott just signed new legislation requiring permits for robotaxis. And wouldn't you know it, Tesla is launching its robotaxi trial in Austin right now.
Wow, talk about timing.
Right.
Yeah, and what's really striking, I think, is the policy change in Texas. I mean, for years, they were very hands-off with autonomous vehicles. Remember that 2017 law?
Oh, yeah, the one that stopped cities from regulating them?
Exactly. So this new law, signed by Governor Abbott and effective September 1st, it's a pretty clear signal. State officials seem to be saying, okay, hold on, let's proceed a bit more cautiously here.
So what does the new law actually require these companies to do? Is it just paperwork?
It's more than just paperwork. Companies need explicit approval from the Texas DMV to run self-driving cars on public roads without a human safety driver. That's a big one.
Right.
And the state gets the power to pull those permits if a vehicle seems to endanger the public. Plus, and this is important, companies have to provide detailed emergency protocols.
Protocols for what? Like if something goes wrong?
Precisely. For first responders, police. How do they interact with a driverless car in an emergency? They need a plan. Companies basically have until September 1st to get this sorted with regulators.
Or face consequences, I assume?
Yeah, potentially vehicle seizures, fines. It gives the law some teeth.
And smack dab in the middle of this, Tesla launches its Austin trial. You know, Elon Musk has been talking about self-driving Teslas for, over a decade now.
A long time. And a lot of Tesla's stock value, analysts say, is kind of tied up in the idea of robotaxis succeeding.
For sure. So this Austin trial, it's actually pretty small right now, isn't it? Like 10 or 20 cars?
That's right, 10 to 20 Model Ys operating in a really limited part of Austin. And initially, it seems, mostly for online influencers to try out.
Which puts Tesla in an interesting spot, strategically speaking. That September 1st deadline is coming up fast.
It really does. If they don't get those permits lined up, they might have to, pause or change things significantly. Adds a bit of pressure.
Definitely. Now, Musk has been very public about being super paranoid with safety for this rollout. He's saying they'll only operate in the safest zones, avoid bad weather, tricky intersections, and no kids under 18 allowed. He even said he'd delay if needed for safety.
Okay, standard safety precautions, sounds like.
But here's where things get a little fuzzy. One source we looked at specifically mentions Tesla planning to have safety monitors riding in the front passenger seat during this trial.
Okay, human backup.
But another source quotes Musk directly saying the vehicles will drive without any safety operator inside.
Oh, well, that's a pretty big difference.
Right. It's not just a small detail. It kind of highlights this core tension, doesn't it? The push to go fully driverless versus ensuring absolute safety.
Absolutely. If they are going with no human operator from the get-go, especially with just cameras, that's putting a lot of faith in their system. And public trust is fragile here, especially after what happened with GM's Cruise.
Yeah, that whole shutdown after the accident in California was a major setback for the industry image.
It really was. And you've got competitors like Waymo, Alphabet's company, already running paid services in places like Phoenix and San Francisco. And Amazon's Zoox is in the mix, too.
And most of them, Waymo included, use LiDAR and radar in addition to cameras, right? Tesla's sticking to cameras only.
That's Musk's big bet. He argues cameras are enough, maybe even better, and definitely cheaper than LiDAR and radar systems. It's a fundamental split in how you approach the problem.
It's interesting to compare this to California's experience. They've been regulating this stuff for, over a decade now?
Yeah, quite a while. And they actually approved Waymo and Cruise for 247 Robotaxi service back in 2023.
But then things got complicated. Yeah. Very. Accidents, vehicles causing traffic issues. Yeah. It led to suspensions, and ultimately Cruise pulling out entirely. It just shows finding that balance between innovation and public safety is really tricky. Texas is stepping right into that challenge now.
So, thinking about you, our listener, what's the takeaway here?
Well, it means the way we get around is changing, maybe faster than we think, maybe slower.
And these regulatory battles, like the one in Texas, they're super important. They're going to dictate how quickly and safely these driverless services actually become part of your life. It's that classic tech tension. Move fast and break things, or proceed with caution.
A space to watch, for sure. Okay, let's shift from the road to our screens. AI is making big waves in personal computing, too.
Definitely. Google's rolling out some pretty significant Gemini AI features for their Chromebook Plus laptops.
And the idea is to make things smarter, more intuitive.
Exactly. Making everyday tasks smoother. Take select to search. You see something on your screen, an image, some text, maybe a word you don't know. Instead of copying and pasting or typing, you just long press the launcher key or use the screenshot tool. The AI figures out what you're looking at and searches Google for you. It can even pull text into docs or sheets or simplify jargon, kind of like circle to search on phones.
Okay, that actually sounds really handy. I saw something about a new key on the keyboard, too, a Gemini button.
That's the quick insert key. It's replacing the caps lock key on some new models. Think of it like a little AI control center.
What does it do?
Tap it, and boom, quick access to AI image generation, the Help Me Write tool, recent websites, drive files, even things like the calculator. It's debuting on the new Samsung Galaxy Chromebook Plus.
What if you don't have that specific Chromebook?
Good news, other Chromebooks can get the same menu by hitting the launcher key plus F, so the functionality is there.
Got it. And are there AI features that work even if you're offline?
Yeah, some are processed right on the device, things like smart grouping of tabs and documents, or in the Gallery app, you can do background removal for images, make stickers, that kind of stuff. These initially are on the new Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14.
Okay.
But a feature called Live Translation is coming to all Chromebook Plus models. This is pretty cool. It provides real-time captions for video, audio, even video calls across over 100 languages. It's built into the operating system.
Wow, that could be huge for communication barriers.
Yeah.
What about reading assistants? I think I saw something called Help Me Read.
You did. With Help Me Read, you can right-click text on a web page, in a PDF, an email, and get an AI summary.
Okay.
And you can even ask follow-up questions about the summary. It's convenient, no doubt.
It's got some butt coming.
Well, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? If we rely too much on AI summaries for everything, are we kind of short-circuiting our own ability to read deeply and analyze critically? Similar to the concerns about AI search results just giving summaries.
That's a really valid point. What are the long-term effects on learning and just, understanding things fully?
It's something we need to think about as this tech becomes more common.
Definitely food for thought. Any other AI tools in the mix?
Yep. The Reporter app gets an upgrade. It can now transcribe audio, figure out who's speaking, and summarize the whole recording.
Handy for meetings or lectures.
For sure. And video calls get enhancements too, cleaning up background noise, softening your image a bit. Some of this happens locally, some in the cloud, depending on the task.
Okay, so new AI features need new hardware to run them well. Let's talk laptops. Lenovo's got a new Chromebook Plus.
They do. The Chromebook Plus 14-inch starts around $649. It's got a MediaTek Companion Ultra chip inside, which is pretty powerful for AI tasks. They mentioned 50 TOPS, which is basically a speed rating for AI.
And you mentioned it's ARM-based, like a phone processor.
Exactly. It's the first ARM-based Chromebook Plus. That usually means great power efficiency, so potentially really long battery life, which is always a plus. It also has an OLED display option and Wi-Fi 7.
Nice. Any other new machines?
Lenovo also updated their Duet 11-inch. It's a 2-in-1, more affordable, around $339 to $389, with a nice 2K screen. Good for students or portability.
And Samsung's jumping in too.
Big time. The new Samsung Galaxy Chromebook Plus, they're billing it as the thinnest and lightest Chromebook Plus. It's got a 15.6-inch OLED display and uses an Intel Core 3 processor. Samsung seems to be aiming this squarely at competing with Windows and MacBooks on the AI front.
And there's an extra value if you buy one of these new Chromebook Plus devices this year.
That's right. You get a free year of Google's AI Pro plan. That package includes access to their top AI model, Gemini 2.5 Pro, their VO3 AI video generator, plus 2 terabytes of cloud storage.
That's a pretty sweet deal. And even for regular Chromebooks.
All Chromebooks get access to the standard Gemini AI, plus 3 months free of the Google One AI Premium plan, new focus modes to help you concentrate, and this Welcome Recap feature that helps you pick up where you left off.
So, pulling it all together for you, the listener, these AI tools are designed to make using your computer feel smoother, smarter, maybe less like work.
Yeah, whether it's for your job, for school, or just managing your digital life, the idea is to streamline things, get rid of friction points, and make powerful tools more accessible to everyone. It's about making the machine work better for you.
Okay, for our final topic, let's look behind the curtain at something that affects almost everything you buy. Warehouse logistics.
Right. There's a quiet but massive shift happening, driven by robotics. Big names like Walmart, UPS, FedEx, they're investing heavily in automation.
And Walmart seems particularly aggressive here.
Extremely. They've set a really ambitious goal. Cut the cost of moving goods per unit by 20% within 3 years. That's huge.
Why the big push? Just saving money?
It's partly cost saving, sure, but it's also strategic. They want to boost profits beyond what analysts expect and, frankly, keep up with competitors like Amazon, who are also heavily automated.
Can you give us an example of what this looks like on the ground?
Absolutely. Think about their big distribution center down in Brooksville, Florida. They now have autonomous forklifts unloading trucks.
Wow. Forklifts driving themselves.
Yep. And this used to be incredibly strenuous manual labor. We saw quotes from employees there, guys like Jose Molina and Alan Hala, who've done that job for years. They said they're no longer exhausted at the end of the day. They can actually go home and do a lot more now.
So it's changing the nature of the work for some people.
In potentially positive ways, yeah. And it's not just forklifts. Robots are sorting packages, managing these super dense storage systems to fit more stuff in, using advanced scanners to track inventory better. It's comprehensive.
And they're rolling this out widely.
Big plans. Automated centers serving about a third of Walmart stores by year-end, 65% within 3 years. They expect automation to handle about 55% of the volume coming out of their fulfillment centers.
Now, the inevitable question, what about jobs? Are robots taking over?
It's nuanced. Some specific roles, especially in e-commerce fulfillment, might be reduced. But because the overall volume of goods moving is increasing, they expect total supply chain employment to stay steady, maybe even grow slightly. So it's more a shift in roles than a net loss, at least for now.
This push towards automation makes me think back to, 2021, when the supply chains were just completely gridlocked.
Oh yeah, that was intense. Remember seeing pictures of nearly 100 container ships just stuck off the coast of LA?
Yeah. And people were genuinely worried about Christmas presents not arriving.
Yeah.
It felt like everything was grinding to a halt.
That whole crunch was really a perfect storm, wasn't it? A huge spike in demand as things reopened after lockdowns, coupled with major labor shortages everywhere. Truckers, warehouse workers.
It got so bad, some retailers were talking about buying their own container ships because costs from Asia went up like tenfold.
Crazy times. The
Right.
White House even had to step in and push companies like UPS, FedEx, Walmart, and the Port of LA to go 24/7 just to try and clear the backlog.
It was a real wake-up call about how fragile things could be.
Exactly. And that brings us back to why these robots matter so much to you, the consumer. This automation directly impacts how fast, how cheaply, and how reliably products get delivered to your door.
Right. It's about building a more resilient system.
Precisely. Addressing labor shortages, improving efficiency. It helps prevent those kinds of massive disruptions we saw. It's the hidden infrastructure making sure things flow smoothly, even if you don't see the robots packing your box.
And there you have it. Quite a tour today. From Robotaxis navigating new rules in Texas.
To AI making our Chromebooks smarter and maybe making us think about how we read.
And finally, the robotic workforce transforming warehouses behind the scenes.
It really shows how interconnected all this technology is, doesn't it? Shaping how we live, work, and how everything gets from point A to point B. These aren't just separate stories, they're part of a bigger shift.
They absolutely are. So here's a final thought to leave you with. As technology keeps accelerating, what's the next fundamental change you see coming to your daily life? And how well do you think we, as a society, are actually preparing for whatever that might be?
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated. and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.